What's up dudes, Chad here at BarryBigPlums Fishing. Generally, when it's roasting hot, trout fishing is not at its best. It's been 34 degrees for a couple of days down here in East Kent, and it continues to be that temperature for the next couple of days. Ordinarily I wouldn't bother going trout fishing, it's just too hot, you know, it's going to be very, very difficult. But I thought, what the hey, I really fancy getting out this weekend and putting a fly on the water. So let's use some tactics that are going to really help you catch that fish or two when conditions are very, very tough. There are some things you can do, some feathers to your bow, which are going to put you a little bit above the competition. You know, some of these things are going to be a little bit non-kosher methods, but when the chips are down and stuff is really, really difficult, you have to use every trick in your trick book to catch fish. You know, there's fishing and there's catching, guys. Let's get ourselves to Frensham Trout Fishery, about a 2-hour drive, and I'll see you on the other side, dudes. Okay guys, here we are at the beautiful Frensham Trout Fishery in the summer. It's mid-August, it's 8 in the morning. Already I can feel that sun beaming on the back of my legs and my shorts. It's going to be a very, very hot day. And just because it's cooler in the morning, it's already been cooked over the past couple of months. So just because it's been cool one day, the fish are still going to be in that warmer water temperatures. Frensham's very lucky, it's got a lot of flowing water. Some of these tips I'm going to show you today are pretty basic tips, but if you've never been told them, then you simply don't know. One of the biggest, easiest tips I can give you for summer fishing is be there when the fish bite. Basically, your first 3 hours of the day and your last couple of hours of the day are going to be your most productive for fish. They're going to be feeding in the morning when the temperature's cool. So if you can get the early you can get to the fishery, you can get there for 7, you know, even 6 if the place allows you, or 8 when it first opens. You're going to get more bites initially, you know, the first couple of hours of the day, and also for the evening rise too. For the heat of the day, it's going to be much, much harder. So our first tip is, of course, fish as early as you're able to fish. I'm here starting out on a rock-born damsel, size 14, and I've got my damsel there on a loop knot, a rapala knot. That's one of those little tricks that gives that fly a lot more movement in the water than a straight blood knot. So let's start out very quickly without hooking myself. Nice one, Chad. And yeah, let's go. Right, this time of year is a bit more visual. So I'm just creeping up to the water side. The water's a little bit coloured, but that's an algal bloom, I suppose. I'm going to see if any fish respond to this damsel. The damsel I've gone for is a little bit smaller than a size 10. So I think smaller this time of year makes a bit of a difference. So I'm just going to gently search the shallows with my little damsel here. So that's sink, and I'm going to tweak that back because fish will still be searching for food in the mornings. It's a little bit cooler. Oh, let's add a tape then. That's on the hang, guys. So I followed that for a while and took that on the hang. But what I find in sort of June, July and August is these takes you get early in the morning where the trout attacks the fly and you feel it, do tend to dry up quite quickly. And that's when we're going to have to go on to some of the other tactics that I've been talking about, that we talk about in this video. That was a most definite pull there. There's a definite pull there on that damsel anyway. When it's warm, the trout are going to be where they feel most comfortable. This here is an inflow. You've got fresh water coming in here, oxygenating the water. So trout are going to sit in this area looking for a little bit of comfort from the summer temperatures. So it's there we go. It's always worth coming and having a go at these inlets. I was hoping for a little bit more clarity today, so I should be able to see the trout take, but I can see shadowed movements of trout there. I don't think it's going to show up on the camera. But it's always worth searching these sort of areas. In fact, I'm going to do a short line. I'm literally just going to high stick this and see if I can get a take. I'm high sticking this damsel in the current. Sort of river technique high stick. So no line. Just like that. There's a take then. Just because something originates on a river, don't think you can't use it in still water. Same with reservoir techniques. Just because a technique originated on a reservoir doesn't mean it doesn't work on a still water. And the same bollocks. Sorry for swearing there, guys. There you go, high stick that. There we go. Yeah, just because it originates on a river doesn't mean it has no application in still water. You saw that. I literally held the damsel at a set level, working where the trout are laying there, waiting for a little bit more, sitting there in the oxygen. Let's say I will be keeping my first four fish today, guys. So I fancy a meal tomorrow. Let's say I have only got my barbless fly box with me, so I need to make sure I keep my line tight. See that technique though, guys? That's something to try. High sticking. You literally just hold it at level, hold your arm out and drift round and wait to look for a visual take. There we go. First fresh rainbow of the day. Beautiful. Let's get him in. Time for you to come in, buddy. There we go. First one to the net, guys. Lovely little rainbow trout. Okay, dudes. So that first fish was a combination of getting in nice and early when the fish are still looking to feed before the heat of the day. I've come to an area where there's an inflow. The trout are sitting there in the oxygenated water, picking off bits and pieces that come from the other lakes in the Monk system. And I've used the high sticking technique from rivers, a little bit of leader out the tip, and literally follow the flow down, just like if you was fishing in a river. You know, it's a technique I've seen on YouTube, and it clearly has application in here in still waters. So awesome. Let's give that another go. Right. I was getting a few knocks and everything early on, and now I've covered these fish and they've gone off the boil on this little damsel pattern. But certainly the fish in this area. Oh, actually that's a nice take. Got to have reactions like you wouldn't believe this time of year. They literally grab a fly and it's dropped within a nanosecond. You'll feel a little tweak and I've already spat it out. So up we go. Okay. What I'm going to quickly do is pull off a bit of line, and I'm just going to tweak it back in this area now so I can cover some more fish. So I did have I think it was a pull. Come on. I'm in a right old pickle here, guys. Damsel, well, I know there's fish. Now I've gone to a black and blue humongous, so let's change tactics. So rather than getting them to naturally go somewhere, I'm going to try and scare the bejesus out of them. Something big and garish. Sometimes You have to rely on the fish's aggression rather than their willingness to feed. And sometimes aggression is all you have in the summer months in the still water. Let's get a nice cast out by that tree. Yeah, that was accurate. God dang it. Who put that tree there? Right, I'm going to edit that bit out. Right. Now, okay. Never yank your rod, guys. I can attribute to that. God, mate, that's in there. Right, let me guess. Did I lose my whole line? Oh, birdsnest.com. Oh, you son of a gun. Come on, guys, you know the words to this one. When the summertime, when the weeds are high, gonna catch the trees, gonna lose your flies. That's when the plums is gonna lose his mind. Joys of summer fishing, guys. Plant life's high, leaves are out there, and you're gonna lose a few flies. You've got to have a sense of humour about it, otherwise you can't fish in the summer, man. That was a pretty sexy cast, don't you think? I know it's only short distance really, but that's pretty amazing. This is such a beautiful spot here, it really is. One of my favourite places to fish. And I've got a lot of time for Gillian Twite. She took over the fishery when Richard unfortunately died. A few years back now, and she's done her best to make this fishery come on leaps and bounds. She's spent a lot of money here, you know, landscaping and building a nice area for you to have a bite to eat over there, new car park. It's a lovely little part of the country. Right, dudes, next tip: move, move, move. If you don't have any joy in a spot within sort of 5 or 10 minutes, you need to be moving. That doesn't just apply for summer fishing, it also applies for all times of year. You ask my friends who I fish with, I move every 5 to 10 minutes if I haven't had a fish. Try a few different flies, and I'm moving. You know, the amount of guys I see there for 3-4 hours in the same spot just fan casting without a fish. It's one of the things you have within your power to change is the location you fish. And when you're putting your fly over fresh fish, it really, really does make a difference. You know, you might be in a spot with no fish. You know, you can have the best fly in the world. If they're not there, they're not there. So one of my biggest tips is move, 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 literally constantly. All right, guys, big tip. This is a bit of scum, but I guarantee there'll be fish sitting in that. I'm also staying a little bit back away from the water, guys. I don't want to spook all my fish. The fishing's a little bit more visual this time of year, guys. You can see a fish, you may cast, I can see one swimming over there which has got moving quite quickly. I don't know why, I just quite fancy having a go at that. Here we go. Oh, we've looked at that. See that? Yeah, this lure might just be a little bit much for them now. Guys, a size 16 pheasant tail. Let's hope it sinks fast enough, because that's going to be the the issue. Let's just fire this bad boy out and see if I can get response to it. So the way today's looking, guys, I know what's going to catch me fish, but I'm trying the other stuff first. Let's try the other stuff first. Gently, slowly, slowly. Put my pheasant tail in front of fish. If I see anything cruising, I'll try and get air in front of it, but these fish are spooky. Ah, dude. They certainly will be spooky now I've done that. So the concern I have now is that that fly is not going to sink quick enough. Right, there's a cruising fish there. I'm going to try. Yeah, see, he had that buzzer just underneath the surface then. Let's see if he likes to look at my pheasant. He turned away from it and literally gone the other way. I know what did work here last time. Took one look at that and didn't like it. Okay, right. I know what worked here last time when they were feeding off the surface. Let's change again. A little hairy black snatcher with a little tag end on it. And last time I was here, I was able to cast this at cruising fish, and they were taken on the drop. But today is a different day, and that might not be on the cards. Oh, literally right on his bleeding head. Brain that poor fish. See, he's at least looking at it. If I just... I think that fish just gave me the flipped me the bird. What do you think, guys? He absolutely just flipped me the bird. He took off like a torpedo. There's one over there. Let me just... Quite there, was it? So I'm getting used to this new line. My cast is not as accurate as with my H3, but... Well, there we go. They are looking at it though. They're not completely buggering off. Right. I see... Right, there's quite a bit of movement down there. Let's try that. But this time of year, guys, you need to really maximise your time when the fish are feeding, aka the first sort of 3-4 hours of the day. Down that end of the lake there, you can see I'm seeing a lot of fish jumping and moving. So I'm going to go where I definitely know there are fish feeding on something, be it small midges, whatever. I've got a little small black snatcher on. Let's go and see if I can cast to cruising fish just underneath the surface and get them to grab my imitation snatcher. Ooh, come on. I know you looked at that. Literally, you can just see him nipping away at it. Stingers all around my legs. I've only just got over being stung to death last week. Okay guys, this is the part of the video where the purists may become a little bit angry. You've all been there. We turn up at Fishery, you try moving flies, you get a few follows early on in the day. You can see the fish just underneath the surface nipping at things. They want a completely static fly. The only real way to do that with one fly only is to use one of these things, an indicator. So there we have the buzzer. All you literally do is pull some line down. You have that about a foot underneath the surface. And literally, you fold it over. And then when you put your fly in the water, it sits underneath the indicator. It's as simple as that. It is basically float fishing, guys, but you cannot deny its effectiveness. Let's give it a go and see if it solves the riddle of summer fishing here at Frensham today. Literally, just about. Whoa. Finally, my GoPro off when it should have been on and on when it should have been off, but I saw that fish cruising. I plinked my buzzer in just in front of it and the sight bob disappeared. So there you have it, guys. That tactic certainly works. The main issue with indicator fishing that I've encountered as a fly fisherman is the negative connotation with the method. It is the best way, in my humble opinion, of presenting one fly statically at a certain depth in a UK still water. It was initially created for, you know, river fishermen to keep their fly above the gravel on the bed from the current, but it has great application in still waters too. I've had people give me a hard time in the past when I've used indicators. You know, you shouldn't be ashamed of using them if it's within the rules of the fishery. I don't want to use them all the time. It's not why I started fly fishing. You know, I was a course fisherman as a boy, and it's essentially a glorified float. But it is bloody effective, and some days it is really the best way to catch fish. That's a big bloody bug just buzzed by me here then. Some days it is practically the only method I've seen catch at some still waters. You know, if they don't want that fly moving and you can't use a team of flies, I know you can grease the lead and all that sort of stuff, but it's such a faff. I've seen people do it and it's not for me. I'd rather just get an indicator out of the bag, give it 10-20 minutes, see if it's effective and move on. But in the summer months, it's a great tool to have in your tool bag. I highly recommend it if you're struggling on the day. Right dudes, I've had 2 fish so far, one on small damsel, one on small buzzer under an indicator, and I missed another one on the buzzer under an indicator answering a text from the wife. Thank you very much for that. But I think now it's warming up. It's only sort of 9, half 9. It's already getting really warm. I think it's time to really prey on the trout's aggression. So I'm going to go on one of Martin Williams' little pink stalkers, and I'm going to go and try and spot the fish and get an aggression take during the warmer hours of the morning. Let's see if that does the trick. Stealthy. I'm trying to spot a fish. The water's very murky. Make it a little bit challenging, guys, because the water clarity is not what it normally is. Almost had a few takes already. It, guys, literally as I turned the camera off, but yeah, I saw this fish cruising and I put my pink stalking bug just in front of him and he took it. Not a bad fish. So the problem I've got now is I left my net all the way back here. Ugh. Rookie mistake, Chad. There we go. So what I'm preying on is the aggressive nature of a rainbow trout, opposed to they're feeding on a midge or something else. I've got this wonderfully sparkly pink stalking bug from Martin Williams, and I'm targeting individual fish. And yeah, that was awesome. That's a nice fish actually. It's a good couple of pound. That's going to be nice fish to have today. In difficult conditions. I stress that in the video, guys. These are difficult. It is literally 9:30 in the morning and it's already roasting hot today. Oh, that's going well. Come here. Oh, there we go. That's a beauty, guys. What a beauty. That's about £2.5. Very, very nice. Guys, I think I underestimate this one. It's probably about £3. What a stunning rainbow caught on a Martin Williams pink mini stalker. It's difficult visibility in the water today, but that flash of that tail there really shows up when it's a couple of feet down. So very, very happy to have that. It's been difficult conditions so far this morning, but as I've shown, you got a few more tricks in the bag, you can still catch fish. Oh, it's getting warm now, guys. I know I've already mentioned this before, but it's imperative. I'm moving every 5 or 6 minutes. I have a go at the fish that are in one area and I move on and cover fresh fish all the time. It really will increase your catch rate. Trust me, guys. Move is one of the biggest things you can do to get more fish, especially in the summer. A fly in here, or a stalking bug in here yet. Let's quickly flick this out. See if there's anything about. See that? Ooh. God. The water here at Frensham is normally an awful lot cleaner. There's something having a go at that fly. Oh, he's I see him. Shimmer, shimmer, shimmer. Shimmer. That shimmer away. Nothing. The highest. Get my rod up there. Oh. And again. Stalking is so effective, guys. The trout will often be taken just due to their aggressive nature, not wanting something in their space. But this is where I started my day. You remember I had a fish here earlier. So nice and quiet, quick, a bit low. There we go, very nice. Straight into the current. Ooh. Tiny little rainbow, that is. About 3/4 pound. Perfect condition though. How beautiful is that? Right, let's get the net to hand, matey. To the top lake here at Frensham. It's a lot deeper and the water is a fair lot clearer. So I can actually see my stalking bug Oh, which is going to help an awful lot so I can go a bit deeper. So remember guys, this time of year you're going for the rainbow trout's aggression rather than anything else in the small still water. So you can be as romantic about fly fishing as you want, but this time of year you have to use every trick in the book to still catch fish. So what tactics to use? We're on a die-fire sinking line with 5 foot of fluorocarbon to a Rapala wiggle knot and a Booby, and I'm going to be moving this at a rate of knots through the water. That die-fire will get the line underneath the water, and I'm going to strip it back and look to really key in on those aggressive rainbow trout. I'm not going to get them tweaking back nymphs this heat, but what I can do is make them angry that this is in their space and they're going to hopefully grab it, and I'm going to get myself another fish. Roasting guys, absolutely roasting hot. So let's do a tactic which I know works. We're going to fire out my hopefully untangled die-5 line. Let that go underneath. I'm going to tuck the rod underneath my hands. We're going to bring that Booby back, and on that Rapala knot that's going to wiggle. This is all about keying in on the aggression of the trout. That's better. Let's wait this, let this sink a little bit. Absolutely roasting today guys. I knew it was going to be, so I can't really moan about the temperature, but it definitely does sap your strength over the course of the day. Just make sure you put sunscreen on and take regular breaks, dudes. There's a couple of nice fish down there. Consequently, if I stuck with my stalking bug, I've been able to have presented to those, but it's always the way, guys. When you spot something nice, you've changed your fly, it would have been perfect for them. Okay. Dear me, what's going on here? Okay. Let's sink a little bit. Whew. Roasty toasty, my friends. And then just bring it back like that. Bit of wobble 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 in the water. Did just have one pull. Just had one trout turn off at the last minute. So that shows me, as I've had a pull and just seen one trout turn away, that I'm on the right train of thought here, guys. Let's continue to do this. Didn't like the look of that, did he? Ooh. Oh, son of a gun. Right, that fish there took a liking to this bug. And as always in the summer, whenever you spot a fish that is interested in your fly, you catch the weeds. By the time you sort yourself out, the fish is skedaddled. I see it, I see it. Ah, such a shame, 'cause he really wanted that as well. All else fails. An aptly named stalking bug. I think I might have scared the fish off. I might have to go and do my old fashioned stalking. Always going for it. Ooh. That was very close. That was a nice fish too. Right, I'm going to reposition by those trees and give it another go. Right guys, my GoPro has run out of battery, but under an indicator of a bloodworm imitation, it's literally 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I've finally got another fish, and that's a beautiful fish as well. But bloodworm is a very good pattern. With janky filming guys, I must remember to bring something to charge my GoPro with. And that's number 4 for the day, and the bloodworms come out in the net. There we go. That's 5 fish on a very, very hard day in August. I am very, very pleased with that, guys. Very pleased. What a day. Glad I came. There you go, guys. I braved it in the middle of August. I really cannot overstate just how hot today has been for fly fishing. Gillian, the owner here, has got a thermometer up in the shade, and it was pretty much 30 degrees centigrade in the shade at 1 o'clock today. So I don't even know what the full temperature is, but it is very, very hot. Let's just put it that way. I fished the morning. I've had a couple of fish, you know. I had a couple on indicators, one on bloodworm, one on buzzer. That's a great tool you can put in your toolbox. Don't be afraid to use it. It's within the rules. You know, forget what anyone else tells you if it is or isn't kosher. I can tell you it works, and some days it really does make the difference. I've had a couple of fish on stalking bugs as well. It's about 3 o'clock now, and to be honest, looking at the fishery, looking at the fish swimming round, I think I'm probably not going to get any more fish now. If I was going to get any more fish, I'd probably stay on for the evening and maybe look at some dry fly work. But to be honest, I've filled my ticket now. I've taken 4 fish home for dinner tomorrow. I don't really want to be doing catch and release for fish. It's so bleed not today. It's just not fair to really release the fish. I did release one earlier, but it was a really small rainbow of about 3/4 of a pound. I didn't really want to kill that for food, but I got it straight in and released it, and it did look okay. But in the main, I won't be doing catch and release in these temperatures. So there you go, guys. Hope it's been useful. It's very, very hard fishing in August, the hardest month of the year in my opinion. But I would, there's no better place to try it with someone like Frensham Trout Fishery. They've got loads and loads of fresh water coming through this fishery each day. And it does mean that even though it's rock hard like everywhere, you can still catch a few fish if you've got those extra couple of tricks in your toolbox, you know. They weren't going to chase nymphs today, they weren't going to chase lures today, but little stalking bugs in front of them, or little buzzers or little nymphs under an indicator, it does work, and certainly in the early part of the day. I've got a 2-hour drive home, so I've had a good day, and I hope this video has been interesting for you. Anyway guys, this is Chad at BarryBigPlums Fishing. Absolutely sun-baked and cooked. Have a good one. Laters.